Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 1.5 of my merchanting series. Now, if you have no idea what this is, basically I've started a series in which I made a new account and I'm merchanting to build my way up, get as much money as I can, and hopefully buy some nice items towards the end of it. Now, I've made this on a new account so I can track things like my online time and see how much money I can make over time and how much I'm making per hour. Now, those are going to be the episodes that are episode 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And episodes 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, they're all going to be saying how I made that money and a bit more of an explanation. So this is more of the guide aspect to it, and the other episodes are more of the progress aspect to it. So this is episode 1.5, and I hope you guys enjoy. So if you've not watched episode 1, I do suggest you watch that first. However, if you have already seen the episode, you'll know that I made the majority of my money in that episode from flipping cheap runes, such as water runes and mind runes. And you can see on the screenshot that's currently showing that I was buying things like water runes at 5 each and selling them at 6 each. And similarly, I was buying mind runes at 4 and selling them at 6. Now you might be thinking that's only a 1 or 2 GP profit. That is pretty rubbish. How can this be a great method for if you've got a small amount of money? And the truth is, it is quite small profits, but they are a big percentage profit. So buying something at 5 GP like the water rune and selling it for 6, that is a 20% profit. And for the mind runes, buying them at 4 GP and selling them at 6, that is a 50% profit. And if you equate that into something like an Armadillo Godsword, that means if you flip an Armadillo Godsword with the same ratios as the mind rune, you would be making around 8 to 10 mil profit per flip on an AGS. So you can see now, if you've got a small amount of money, then you can get a good percentage profit return on the amount that you invest. So I'm just going to show a bit more of a demonstration and explanation in the actual game now. And if you go to the Grand Exchange and you want to start something like this type of flipping, then a great way to find out which runes you can use is by going to this character over here, just in the east part of the Grand Exchange, called Murky Matt. Now there's loads of these characters around. There's this one there, there's one over here for things like ores and I think bars, I'm not too sure. In fact no, just ores. And they basically just give you the price of all the runes with the current Grand Exchange prices. So you can see they've got things like Rune S, Pure S, all the low runes, all the higher runes. I'm not really sure why it's in that order. It seems a bit of a weird order, but that's the order they've done it in. And basically the runes that you're wanting to do are the cheapest that you can get. So things like body runes, mind runes, earth runes, air runes, water runes, and possibly fire runes. Those are the best, in my opinion at least, for this bulk rune flipping. So now you know which items you can do, you've got to be able to find which are the best or which will work. So for this you can go to the Grand Exchange webpage, and it doesn't really make too much of a difference. You can find some of the runes on this most traded section, but just in case for some strange reason runes stop being the most traded, if you just search rune, set the price to 0 to 500 and find, this will help you find the graphs for all of the cheap runes. So we'll just do air runes first, as it's at the top of the list. And when we look at the 30-day graph, you can see things like air runes, they've been pretty stable with the 30-day average. However, they have recently dropped quite a lot. And if you look on the 100, in fact the 90 part will show better, the price that they were at is cheaper than they've pretty much ever been. And that does tell us that they will probably be trading at mid and above mid, because something like air runes, they don't really just crash. There's always demand for air runes, so you know they're never just going to crash to 1 GP each. So looking at this, you can kind of suggest that they're going to be trading around 7 and going up to 8, maybe up to 9. So if we just go onto the Grand Exchange, and I will try and buy one, hopefully it'll agree with me and I won't look like an idiot. So let's try and buy one now. Air rune, instant buy. So it instant bought at 8, and let's guess it's going to instant sell at 7. So we got 7 GP for it. So you can see it's currently trading at mid and just a bit above mid. So that means you could easily buy them at 7 GP each, and you could sell them on at 8, maybe even 9 each if you were trying to be a bit more patient and get a bit more money. So in a similar sense to the air runes, you can also use other runes, and I'm just going to show water runes because I've looked at this graph already and this is just the perfect one for this kind of thing. So if we look at water runes, you can see that as far as we're concerned, it has been stable at 6 GP for about the last month, and that is great for us because that means that we'll be able to get a good profit on it. Now if you think about it, the water runes cannot be both instant buying and instant selling at the same price, and I can't really explain it. It's just one of those things. It can't happen because there's always going to be water runes that are selling and there's always going to be water runes that people are buying, and they can never really be at the same price. So for that reason, they're always going to be either buying at 6 and selling at 5, or buying at 7 and selling at 6. There is chances that they could go with ranges as high as up to 8 or as low as 4, but it is more likely that they will be going between 5 and 7 GP. Now for this reason, you could try and get a lot more profit on it, and instead of buying at 5 and selling at 6, you could try and buy at 5 and sell at 7, and that is what I was doing for a lot of the earlier flipping. So let's just go to the Granite Exchange again and see what they're currently doing. So I don't know if they're above or below at the minute, and they are currently at med, so you could buy them below med right now, and I would be 99% sure within the next 2 to 3 hours, if you had 25,000 of them, which is the limit, you'll be able to sell them for 7 GP each. So doing this, you would see that they're trading below. You could now offer on 25,000 water runes at 5 each. It'll cost you 125k, and then within maybe an hour they might buy. It depends how many offers that there are in, and within maybe another hour or two they would have sold at 7 GP each. So just to finish, the reason that you might want to do things like runes is that it is typically an item that is going to be stable, and you should never really lose money on it, especially if you're doing the lower ones like I've been talking about in this video. And it means you could basically put in offers for like 150,000 of the body runes, mind runes, air runes, water runes, earth runes, fire runes. I might have said one twice, I really don't know, but if you do, then that's going to be 6 offers, buying 25,000 per 4 hours. So you're going to be buying 150,000 runes per 4 hours, which over a day will give you 900,000 runes. And if you're able to buy those and get between 1 and 2 GP profit on each, that will give you about 1.3 mil profit, assuming you can buy them all and sell them all within a day. Now that is pretty ideal situations, but 1.3 mil profit for what would take maybe 15 to 20 minutes work a day is pretty awesome. It's why I was able to start making money on that account, because you can do it with any amount of money, because I've just demonstrated you can, and you've seen that in episode 1. And this method, it does work for any amounts, but it is better for the lower amounts like 10 mil or something, and I really do suggest you try something like this out. So I hope this guide's been helpful. I hope you understand a bit more about how I did the merchanting of the cheaper runes, and let me know in the comments if you've enjoyed it and if you've been able to make any profit from it. So cheers guys, and I'll see you in episode 2.